exactly what we spent this good money on. And can you
Yeah, all our microphones just went down. It's on. Jason's
Collected a
looking
lot
into
of
it.
different parameters this summer, but the one I'm going to be presenting today is the algae and the phytoplankton and the zooplankton. So the purpose of collecting this data set was to be able to compare changes in the plankton community before the nanodouble treatment and then after the treatment starts next spring. So this year represented the before treatment data. We looked at both phytoplankton, which is algae, which represents the base of the food chain. It is photosynthetic, so it does not predate on anything. It uses the sun like plants do to fuel their metabolism, but they also rely on nutrients that enter the water column to grow. So the higher the nutrients, likely the more phytoplankton you will be seeing. And the second one is zooplankton. So that's one tier above phytoplankton on our food web. Zooplankton are small crustaceans and they eat phytoplankton. And then they're also a good food source for our fish at all different levels. So both of these are really important for your lake's health and ecosystem. You need both of these organisms to have a healthy fishery and have a lake that is kind of thriving. So it's really important for us to kind of understand what the phytoplankton look like before the treatment and make sure that there's no disruptive changes to the food web after the treatment. So you're going to see a lot of plots like this. At each of the stations, we collected phytoplankton at different dates. And then these are called stacked bar charts. They represent, the height of them represents the amount of total phytoplankton in the sample. And then those different colors represent the different types of algae that are in those samples themselves. So let's look at Camelot Control, for example. That's this star down here. We can see that in July there was kind of the highest amount of phytoplankton there. And then during that, this blue portion was the most, and those are cyanobacteria. So there's lots of different colors here. The one that we're primarily just going to talk about today, and in terms of health and ecosystem risk, this blue-green algae or cyanobacteria is kind of our most important, and what we're hoping to reduce with the nanobubble treatment, as well as other impacts of helping with nutrients and overall kind of consistent conditions throughout the summer, so we don't see as many peaks of phytoplankton. So really the purpose of showing these graphs is to kind of show how diverse all of these different locations are, because these sampling locations are so different in terms of these shallower bays kind of have a more isolated community, and then obviously Camelot and 8th Avenue has that influence of that inflow coming from the bridge. We're going to see a lot of diversity amongst these. So I'm not going to get in the weeds of what all of this phytoplankton diversity means, but I will give takeaways and kind of what we're going to look for when we look at the data as it comes in next year, and kind of what that means. So we can kind of see Camelot, the control site here, has this peak in July with cyanobacteria kind of showing up after that. And then at 8th Avenue, we see some kind of more consistently high diatoms. And diatoms are a benign, they're represented in brown, they're a benign algae. They're really good food source for fish and for the zooplankton. Then we'll look at the 4 locations on Sherwood. I have them in this map. The algae control is here in the north, and Bay 9 is also here in the north, and then on the south we have the control and then Bay 2. And we could kind of see similar peaks in that August and July timeframe where we would usually expect bloom, so that is very, very common to see. And then on Arrowhead, in the marina, we see kind of that, again, those high concentrations of phytoplankton, and here we consistently have a higher composition of the blue-green algae. I just wanted to take a second to kind of talk more about the cyanobacteria. So this plot shows the cells per milliliter of cyanobacteria through the date. Since we were not required to take any cyanotoxin data, we can kind of infer risk level from these cell concentrations. And so what we are looking at here is the red line is the high risk, and the orange line is the moderate risk of cyanobacteria concentrations. And moderate risk means that we could start seeing potential for cyanotoxin production. However, I just want to caveat this is an empirical relationship, and bacteria don't always produce toxins. But it kind of gives us an indication of, in that July timeframe, we are seeing some elevated cyanobacteria concentrations that we would like to kind of reduce if we can when we look at the post-treatment concentrations. So the takeaways from all of that phytoplankton data is, in general, there was a diverse phytoplankton composition, which is actually favorable, right? We want to be able to maintain phytoplankton to feed the fish in the base of the food web, while kind of reducing that nuisance bloom and risk of cyanotoxins. And so there's a lot of potential for that to happen, because there are other phytoplankton in all of these bays that can kind of play that role in our food chain, so that's really good. All of the sites except for that Camelot at 8th Avenue have cyanobacteria concentrations above that moderate risk threshold, so it's something that we would like to keep an eye on, especially after we start the treatment. The bays, those more isolated finger-like bays in Camelot, Sherwood, and Arrowhead, all showed these of phytoplankton in July, whether that's green algae dominated or cyanobacteria dominated. That's pretty typical. In summer when we have algae blooms, that's kind of what we would see. So, and then Arrowhead Marina, as I said, had the highest composition of that cyanobacteria through July to September. And I think, anecdotally, as people were out there, they probably saw those blooms there. And then Camelot at 8th Avenue Bridge had the most diatoms. That's kind of interesting. Next, I'm going to talk about zooplankton. Zooplankton dynamics are a little bit different, so we kind of put it in the context of Cladostera and Copepoda, but actually what you need to kind of understand about these are that Cladostera are able to kind of eat more of those small and like cyanobacteria to try to control those blooms, and they're also able to sequester more nutrients. So they're kind of our algae and nutrient fighters, so it's kind of interesting to see those concentrations from an ecological standpoint. And then both of these, Cladostera and Copepoda, are crustaceans and also represent a really good fish food. So we want to see these concentrations stick around, and so this is kind of just to look at the baseline of what's going on in these different locations, as we've kind of already talked about. So on 8th Avenue, we see a lot of those Cladostera, and then with control, we see more copepods. And then all of these bays are kind of behaving differently, having different compositions of these zooplankton throughout the year and at different times. And I just want to point out there is a difference in this scale, magnitude of this scale. So you could see that Camelot actually has the most individuals per liter. So that was important to point out. And then I would just also like to say, both of these zooplankton are non-harmful. So no reason that we want to reduce zooplankton. We just want to make sure that the treatment is not reducing those. And then here's Arrowhead as well, kind of on its own journey with its phytoplankton, zooplankton composition. It is encouraging to kind of see, as even with that cyanobacteria bloom that was there, we are seeing quite a few zooplankton there as well. So it's not, that bloom is not wiped out those individuals, which is great. So the takeaways for the zooplankton are that zooplankton species are variable amongst all these locations, and they're mostly made up of those crustaceans, so those copepods and cladosterans, which is food for fish, which is great. And then 8th Avenue Bridge location had kind of the most zooplankton. So that was a lot of information that we gave you. All of that is going to be used to compare, as I said, to the post-treatment data, but really there are some indicator parameters that we can use to kind of see the health of our plankton community that we're going to keep an eye on pre and post data, so that we're not just saying, well, in July of this year we had this and now we don't. We're going to use these parameters that are more overarching to show the health of the plankton community and kind of show the indications of the treatment success. So the first one is the ratio of zooplankton to phytoplankton. So a favorable ratio would be more zooplankton to phytoplankton biomass, and then lower kind of indicates those algae blooms. Another thing we want to look at is edible algae, and so that is the algae, kind of the green algae, the diatoms, like not so much the cyanobacteria. That shows the quality of zooplankton and fish food. So we want to see the proportion of that biomass increase, and then the abundance of the toxic algae species decrease, which is kind of the risk of the toxic conditions in the lake that we kind of talked about. There's also some diversity and abundance ratios that we would like to look at. So the higher ratio that indicates higher nutrients. So a population that's diverse and more abundant, kind of showing that there's more nutrients and kind of a less balanced system. So we'd like to see a shift in that if we can achieve lower nutrients through this treatment. We'd also like to continue to see the biomass of that crustacean zooplankton to continue to be high, so that we see that there's no impact on the fish, the quality of food for the food web. And then we would also like to maintain the mean size of the zooplankton. So we want to make sure that the large zooplankton are not harmed from this treatment, and the larger size is kind of better quality food for fish. So those are kind of the indicators that we're going to look at when we look at pre and post treatment. As I kind of alluded to, some of the plankton goals for the nanobubble treatment would be to decrease the proportion of cyanobacteria, improve those indicators and parameters that I just talked about, and then try to avoid these large peaks in phytoplankton or blooms, as I talked about, that we're seeing in that July, and have kind of a more consistent population. The next steps, next month, if there's time available, I'd like to go through the dissolved oxygen information that we received, both from the lab and from our buoys and our profiles, to kind of show you what the pre-treatment dissolved oxygen concentrations and availability looks like, and then in March have that full data set, including the nutrients involved at the March meeting. We need to complete the permitting process to ensure that we can get these installed on time, and then we will complete our data analysis that's ready for our post-treatment comparison and kind of have it available for everybody to look at on the website and be able to be reviewed as the treatment is going on, and that treatment should begin in spring 2025. And that's all I have today. Does anyone have any questions?
Scott? Yeah. Can you hear us, Scott?
Hi, Ann.
Ann, can you hear us? Ann, can you hear us? Any idea?
Should I go up by the microphone?
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd probably help.
We can't hear any questions, so if there's any questions, please move closer to the computer.
Can you hear
I
me,
can hear it.
Jay? Jay, can you hear me?
You know what? I'll call Jay.
Jay?
I'll call
Yeah,
him.
that'd be a good idea, just. Or I could type the question in too.
Where is he?
I can text Jay.
Yeah, and we don't have any audio.
Howdy. You know, put you on the phone and we'll go that route, okay?
Well, we can hear you if you're standing next to the computer.
All right.
At least they got it.
Yeah.
You can hear me, Ann?
Down here.
Yes,
Can you hear us now?
I
Mike,
can hear you, Dave.
Yeah, it's Scott and Carl show right now.
Yeah, the
I didn't know I
microphone.
could get on.
Where, is this the mic, oh,
That's
the
just
microphone on the computer?
There's a microphone on the computer.
Hey,
Morning, Scott.
Warden, how are you guys?
Good, good.
How about them Vikings?
Yeah, how about them Packers?
Well, we knew they were one and done. Hey, question for Ann. Are you guys trying to correlate any of the inorganic nitrogen information with the cyanobacteria concentrations?
Yes, we will do that. We haven't received all of the nutrient data yet, but
Okay.
that is something that we'll.
Are you gonna just are you gonna try to do any type of statistical, see if there's any type of correlation there statistically?
It's important for us to understand.
Absolutely.
Especially, given the nature of this treatment, will not have a lot of effect on the.
Well, I
nitrogen.
just, yeah, it has, Tri-Lakes, like a lot of our lakes here, are really high in dissolved inorganic nitrogen. It seems to be a big push or big missing piece to how much cyanotoxins are produced. The more excess nitrogen got, the more
Totally.
chance of toxins, so it'd be a great correlation to follow up on.
Yes, we definitely will, and we did collect quite a lot of nitrogen like this, so that's available. When that's available, we'll present that in March.
You got your phone, right, Carl?
I'm sorry?
You got your phone.
Yeah, yeah. Anybody else have any questions? I do. Hey, and just a couple questions. How many sites were you checking on in the summer every other week?
We were collecting data on 7 for the algae.
And any idea why the bays would be different on the Sherwood especially, or Channelot?
So the bays are very isolated from the rest of the lake, so they're impacted more directly by the direct kind of shorelines and local ecosystem. So they're kind of their own little ecosystems there because they're not as hydrologically connected, whereas kind of that 8th Avenue has that large influx, especially this summer. So that's more influenced by the inflow there. So it's actually really interesting. Each of these bays are kind of behaving a little bit differently, but showing mostly favorable phytoplankton composition, which is great. So we can knock down some of those more nuisance levels. That would be a great outcome.
Okay. And last one, how many, maybe this is for Jay too, but how many different tests are we performing here on a regular basis and throughout the summer?
Sure. I have a breakdown of that here. I'll share my screen again. Okay, can everybody see that? So, we are collecting chlorophyll, phytoplankton, zooplankton. We have 5 real-time buoys out there. Then we're collecting dissolved oxygen and temperature profiles, nitrogen series, reactive phosphorus and total phosphorus, oxygen demand, dissolved and total organic carbon on those every other week. Or that was in 2024, and it'll have to be weekly in 2025.
Just let everybody know, I mean, it's pretty extensive, the testing we're doing and all this, so getting a lot of data, a lot of information.
Oxygen data next month, and then we'll talk about all the nutrients and how that fits in with the oxygen and phytoplankton that was previously presented in March.
Great. Anybody, anything else? Dave? You understand better than we do. All right. All right, can you hear us, Ann? Ann and Jay, if you have anything else other than that, we're in good shape. Appreciate it. No more questions?
Thank you very much.
Okay,
Thank you.
All right, thanks. Anybody have any questions for us?
There's a question back.
Oh, I'm sorry. Mark?
It's okay. Would it be fair to say that this type of testing has not been done anywhere else? Maybe in the state of Wisconsin or whatever?
It's not,
Scott?
it hasn't been done anywhere else in the state of Wisconsin, and it's because it's never been proposed like this before in the state of Wisconsin. So this is the first time for everybody.
Groundbreaking.
It is, no doubt about it, and I'm hopeful that the data will be used, so for other places, to see, let's answer those questions. Is this a viable tool? Will it work here? Will it work other places?
Yeah,
Hopefully it does.
yeah.
We know that what we've done over the last 50 years has not worked, right?
Well, what happened over the last 50 years is nothing. So, Yeah, only thing that's happened over the last 50 years is increased amount of fertilizer being applied all over the place, upstream, shorelines, everywhere.
Now we know what kind of fertilizer and
It's all commercial fertilizer, not natural, not food. So the commercial fertilizers that's used is the most reactive, and it's also the most mobile that gets in the groundwater, which feeds.
commercial fertilizers are not sources of E. coli at all.
No, but what could happen with that is the more fertilizer you have, conceivably, the more algae you have. The more algae you have, the more organic material for bacteria to thrive.
And we've recognized that we have legacy fertilizers in there, phosphorus and nitrogen, right?
In the sediments, yes.
Which we never knew before.
Well, they knew from the 2002 study that it was there, and, it's not gonna go away. We know that we don't know, we assume that that's the reason why nutrient levels increase in the lakes as you go downstream rather than the opposite. What typically occurs is it's highest in the furthest upstream lake, it'll drop out as you go down, but in Tri-Lake's case, it goes up. So between sediment, fertilizers, septic systems, you're having an impact along the shoreline, but it's much more immediate. You have up further up in the watershed. The watershed is definitely that's the primary, it's the majority of the nutrient load. But
This
it's not
looks,
the 90% or whatever you see, and, across the state, you can say that non-point sources are 90% the cause of nitrogen. And, agriculture is responsible for non-point source pollution, but across the state as an average, but that's not the case here in the Central States.
would it be fair to say that this is the first proposal that looks like a solution?
We think so.
Yeah, we do. I'm not.
We're committed.
Until I see the numbers. I'm hopeful.
Yeah.
We all want something, right? And if this flies here, there's several other lakes ready to go tomorrow.
Right, yeah.
So,
Like 15,000 of them?
no, definitely. But this is, even if this is a reactive type of management scheme, that you can use in concert, like, which works good is you have a two-pronged approach. You work on something immediately right now at the lakes, and Carl spoke to this in length over the years. And then while you're doing that, you're also trying to control the inputs coming in. That's the winning. That's how you're going to win the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
The Packers and Vikings haven't figured that out.
And to that end too, the county has taken on Heather pretty much full time now going forward, at least for this year. And she's done a wonderful job in the last how many months she's been there? 6 months, 8 months, whatever. Yeah, she's done a wonderful job, and it's she's got a big meeting today or tomorrow.
Yeah, I have to leave at 10 to meet.
Oh, I'm
with
sorry, I didn't
players
see
and
you.
Stuff. Yeah, hi, I'm back.
Hi.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It'll be at
It'll be good.
Heartland Farms, and actually it was one of your lake residents that brought this forward.
Bet Rogers. Yeah.
And I've been talking with her for a couple of years, and she tried this on, this, but
Mhm.
others may not know. They did a little project up by her bay.
He was just talking to.
It's real similar to what other states are using now, but in other states, they use just wood chips, like, as a media for bacteria and things to help break the nitrogen down. The biochar does the same thing, but it takes it a step further by having some things that likes to bind on with phosphorus. Cations that kind of like grabs onto that phosphorus and says, hey, hang out here with me. She takes it out of the water. So the biochar, that's interesting too. What we do know is the standard BMPs that you use across the state of Wisconsin for agriculture, most of them don't apply here. Because most of the BMPs, best management practices, that you use across the state are designed for corn, soybean, cattle, things like that. Heavier soils, a lot more runoff. We don't have that here. You know, it's a totally different ag. Flat as a food table out there, coarse sands, gets in the groundwater, and all the drainage ditches are intercepted.
So the entire Buena Vista is porous,
Yeah, it's all glacial lake sand.
all the way from Clover on down.
Oh, yeah, it comprises probably, I don't know,
Our whole
part of 4 or
watershed,
5 counties. The
Our
entire
whole
watershed's
watershed.
in the central sands.
One interesting theory on the nanobubble too is we're not really fighting the chemicals coming in anymore, because it appears that the nanobubble process, by getting rid of the sediment and attaching onto the phosphates and nitrates, will probably exceed what's coming in. In other words, we're gonna fight back whatever has happened over the last 50 years that we've collected. That's what I got out of some of this testing going on, is that we'll be able to keep up or ahead of anything coming in, wherever it comes from. So
That might be the case with nitrogen.
yeah.
Nitrogen has different forms. It could be anything, 78% of the Earth's atmosphere is nitrogen. You know, it could be as an N2 gas, or it could be the nasty stuff, inorganic nitrogen, the nitrates, I think you've heard of them. The nitrites, ammonia that get into the water that plants, algae, weeds can use immediately. And you can convert those nasty ones into nitrogen gas, and it goes up in the atmosphere. That's what this nanobubble stuff might be able to do. The phosphorus doesn't work that way. The only thing you do with phosphorus is take it from dissolved state to a state where it's locked up with something, that's it. And the only way you can get it out of a lake system is to flush it through.
Scott,
Or bind it with something like an alum treatment over a long period of time.
Scott, I have a question for you. I understand the need for all the testing, but we're the guinea pigs for the whole state of Wisconsin. And our residents in the management district are paying for this cost of all this testing. And we're providing the data to the DNR, so you guys can make a decision. Is there any chance of the state helping out with the cost of this testing?
Like we've discussed last year, even last winter, you could apply for a planning grant to help pay for that, like Mead Lake's doing up in Clark County. It's not retroactive, but any other future, but I mean, the other option is, you know, it's a new novel technology. The question is, why aren't those questions already answered? You know, we're a permitting agency, we have to have those, no, and what if we permit this, we're saying, yeah, if it's gonna be okay. We don't know that, we can't say that. Nobody in here can unless we have that data.
I understand that, but the cost of providing the DNR with this data.
That's right, it's too bad, unfortunately, it's borne upon Tri-Lakes Management District. It's on, because the burden of proof is on the applicant. I don't care what agency or whatever you do, or you go to court, you know, the burden of proof is on the prosecution. If that we're applying or making the claim, and, you know, why doesn't, you know, EOR, it's not EOR, I mean, the nanobubble company is gonna get the most benefit out of this, because whatever data they get, they're gonna use that across the United States to sell their products. I mean, this isn't, these are information that we are charged, we have to get those answers to. Is that a lot? Hell yeah, it's a lot, but this has a lot of potential impacts. And it could be good, it could be bad, we don't know. That's why they're doing all the cyanobacteria and the algae counts. That's out of my bailiwick. I know enough about that stuff as a manager, but that whole monitoring scheme was designed by Gina Lawler Liberty, who is one of the best phycologists I know.
I'm not trying to put you on the spot, Scott.
It happens all the time. I've been sued so many times, I don't know, but so yeah, by all means, I understand your frustration.
It surprises me that Tri-Lakes ended up ahead of the DNR we're looking for a solution. DNR's been involved with more lakes, more places, with more resources.
Yeah, so why
Then-
didn't DNR do it?
Why didn't they do it, right?
Yeah,
How did Tri-Lakes end up ahead of them?
you don't, you don't wanna get me going on why DNR doesn't implement it.
We all know, right?
Well, they are limited on funds. I mean, it's just,
Funds, it's
well,
you know, it's like a philosophy that we don't implement. Like, you know, well, why
Just
not?
watch it happen, huh?
No, we do the permitting, and it's like it puts the burden on everything else, where, you know, we dole out probably 6 million a year in surface water grants, and another 4 or 5 million in trim, or targeted runoff management grants. So there's 10 to 50, you know, over $10 million right there a year. We stick into water quality, you know, but we don't implement nothing. We pay people to implement for us, like the counties or something like that. But at the end of the day, DNR doesn't do a project like this.
I think that's what Mark was asking for, funds to implement this research.
Yeah, there are, right now, like I said, Mead Lake has got a grant in right now for, to cover their costs.
Right.
It's much less than what you guys are facing, because Mead Lake's a tiny puddle compared to what Tri-Lakes is in size.
Well, Scott, when does those planning grants have to be
The
submitted?
next round would be September 2025. So if you're gonna do any more testing, not this year, but the year after, in 26, I encourage you to apply.
I would think that going forward in 2026, more
EOR,
bubblers.
Jay Michaels, he knows this very well.
Yeah.
I'm working on him, with him right now, up on, in Marathon County, it's something similar. Not nanobubbler technology at all, but just some other things, and they're in for planning grants right now too.
just a heads up, a couple of weeks ago, Governor Evers had a listening session, and I was on there, and I put our 2 cents in, and I basically told him, I said, you better start looking at the funds, because with 2,000 paired lakes in the state, they gotta, you're talking about $10 million for 15,000 lakes, technically. It's a drop in the bucket, yeah.
And then you look at how that 10 million has to be spread.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
It's like, are you kidding?
Your hands are tied.
Well, yeah, but at the same time, why isn't there a top-down philosophy?
Sure.
Why aren't we implementing?
Yeah, I went to the grant program last year at the Wisconsin Lakes program, and she mentioned the number, 8 or 10 million. I said, what? What? That's nothing.
Yeah, right, and it's, you know, but we don't control that.
No,
It's what
no.
the legislature says.
Yep.
That's one thing I think everybody needs to understand, is we don't write law. You know, we get a law that says, all right, implement this, do that, do that, and we have to write an administrative rule that gets reviewed by the legislature to implement all this stuff, like the grant one. And it's, they specifically said out of that 6 million surface water grants, what, 2 million has to go direct immediately to AIS, aquatic invasive species. So take that off the water quality table, right? A third of that is already gone.
Yeah.
And the other part of it has to go into planning. And then they have this other branch for what they call plan implementation. And that, but an implementation project like this isn't a $10,000, as you guys know, it's not a $10,000 or $50,000 question. These are $200,000, $300,000 questions. And those funds, there's only about $1 million in that. That's 5 projects across the state, that's all we can fund, that's it. And one of them, that's how, and some of those grants are used for staffing, like Adams County. That's how the Walt Heather's position was funded.
Because the funding comes from the state,
Comes from us, and then,
through you,
yeah,
from the legislature.
to give to these counties, it's because we don't.
You guys are
I
the,
can't say that enough without getting my butt in serious trouble.
yeah, oh,
We don't implement.
you mean you've been in trouble?
It's constant.
You guys are the ear to the ground, or the eyes in the field, boots on the ground, that know what's
Carl,
going on.
Did Heather say
And
she
you
had
can
to get
report to the
going?
legislature.
Well, we
Oh,
report,
Yeah.
no, we can't go directly to the legislature. We have to.
We'll get rolling here again in a minute.
Well, they
so.
do, yeah.
And it's gotta go through the filter process.
Carl,
I
get Heather,
understand you're
up.
not top of
Get Heather going.
Change.
She's gotta leave in 10 minutes.
Okay, well, yeah.
But at the end of the day, if you wanna lobby something, you didn't hear this from Scott. Scott Bordeaux-
Scott who?
actually, he knows that, there needs to be a sea change,
paradigm shift,
Yep.
that there's gonna be more implementation.
Agree. Lori?
I have a question on something Scott said, if you could help me understand the permitting process. The testing has to be complete before the DNR will consider the permits?
No, we're just, no.
Pre-testing, so have you put applications in for permits already?
We're waiting for one more of our small unit homeowners to send us the paperwork so we can get going. They basically approved us for the permits, that's not an issue. And what we're doing, what we're getting is a permit to do 10% of the program we'd like to do.
So you need DNR permits, county permits, and then eventually the town, so that.
We don't need permits from anybody other than the county, or the DNR.
Yeah, not for the water permits, it'll only be from DNR.
Yeah.
The big thing is gonna be anything that rests on the lake bed.
Yep.
Those are individual permits.
Yep.
I encourage you guys to start applying for them now.
Yeah, he's going to. I got one more person to get their paperwork in, and yeah, we're ready to go.
Because isn't there a public hearing that you have to have for the permitting process, so that's gonna take time? There's a
No.
30-day hearing.
No.
No.
On individual permits, there
Right.
is. But
Okay.
it doesn't have to happen unless people request a hearing. If nobody requests a hearing, we just.
That's interesting, because I have, okay,
Yeah, it's totally different when dealing with DNR, so, I mean, it's just,
well,
the process is what it is, and we'll follow through it. And that's why we have EOR to guide us through all this.
Yeah, and it's. right,
We'd be lost.
The permitting process is because it's only gonna come into effect when they put things on the lake bed.
Yeah.
Just that. What they're putting on the shore and.
so shoreline ordinance, permitting,
That's
to
not,
put a
we don't
unit,
have nothing to do with shoreline.
that would be the county then, shoreline ordinance, permitting to put a unit on the land.
If the shoreline ordinance requires a permit for that,
Yes.
I don't know that, that's
Yeah,
a county
that's the
thing.
county. Yeah. All right, well, thank you.
No problem. Okay, 14-mile watershed.
You want to jump to Heather?
I'm sorry? Okay, let's do that. I'm sorry.
Because we have.
Move ahead.
If that's okay.
You
I
betcha.
don't want to take you out of order. Sorry, Dave. I'm gonna skip you in line here. We have, yeah, I'll stand up. I have to duck out for our first Farmers of 14 Mile Creek meeting. So we have a producer-led watershed group now in the 14 Mile Creek watershed. And so we're going to have our meeting before the lunch and biochar workshop at Heartland Farms. So I'm going to be heading over there to meet with the producers. We have 6 producers that are interested in implementing practices, engaging in farmer education. We've had a couple farmers attend some workshops right there at the Wisconsin Water and Soil Health Conference. I just talked, Greg Sager, cranberry grower, is the lead farmer for that group. So definitely he's really excited to get more farmers engaged to the table. So that's good. More cranberry growers. And yeah, I mean, the biochar workshop, Pat's really been instrumental in leading that topic and working with some of the larger corporations. She speaks that language as a former CFO with Cargill. And I learned that McCain Foods just got $6.7 million to support with climate smart solutions. So that's we have Wisconsin Potato Vegetable Growers Association coming. So if you know Tomas, he's the executive director of that producer group, that association. We've got people from the forestry group coming. So it's really going to be a nice diverse group of people coming together around a topic that is pretty exciting. A lot of people are interested in it, and I think we're going to have roughly about 50 people in attendance this afternoon. So.
Wow.
Yep, and hopefully they come to the networking lunch that 14 Mile Watershed Alliance is sponsoring. So thank you. And yeah, if anybody has any questions for me, I'm Excel. I'll be here.
I have
yeah.
not a question. This is exactly why we needed a producer-led watershed at this watershed group.
Yeah.
And I'm glad you were able to help get it over the line as much as you did. It took a long, painful process to get here. It's here now. And this kind of collaboration is exactly how we're going to do the second prong approach.
We call it transdisciplinary system thinking.
Whatever that is.
Yeah, so it's lots of disciplines, you have lots of stakeholders, but it's thinking of in terms of a system, right? So like pulp prices are really low right now, and they got county land that we need some logging and some attention. There's other forest management land, so this is where having the forestry department coming in and engaging in that topic around biochar could be really wonderful, because it'll also encourage other better practices when you look at like forest and habitat. So really, again, it's thinking outside the box, really creative thinking, and like where are the synergies? So it's good stuff. Excited.
Thank you, Heather.
Yep. Yep. It's good.
I signed up to go to that today, but I got another meeting.
Oh,
Sorry.
I'm gonna record it. I'm gonna
Okay,
record
good.
it. So it's good.
Thank you. All right, 14-mile watershed. Dave?
Okay, I just have a couple things to share. Already heard about the biochar seminar this afternoon, so we're looking forward to that. Carl also mentioned the 2025 Lakes and Rivers Convention coming up in March. UW Extension has released their schedule for winter water quality webinars. We're looking forward to some real good topics coming up. The first one is on the 21st at noon on tile systems and nutrient loadings. So hopefully that is a topic you can get excited about. I know I am, but that's my bailiwick. So 14 Mile Watershed Alliance has just finished our strategic plan for what we want to accomplish in 2025, and we just released that to our partners and to the public for comment. So look forward to getting some reaction to that as well.
Good. Thanks, Dave. 10, harvester update. Mike, got anything?
We're still waiting for that cutter number 5 to come back from inland for the repairs that were done, and we need to pick up the new trailer for hauling the skid steer if need be, or possibly the nano bubblers to put them in the areas that they need to be placed. Other than that, things are quiet there.
For now. All right. Number 13, town update.
Nothing.
Okay. I'd like to go back quick. District. Did we do district?
No.
No. I'm sorry.
I have nothing to report except I'm working with Kevin on audit for the whole month, so.
Okay. Two things on the district loans are there. I did talk to, again, Lisa Kubis yesterday, and she asked me if we wanted her $25,000. I said, well, we're going to pay our interest payment in August. And I thought, well, we'll take the money now. It'll help offset the interest costs, so I'm going to give her a note, and we'll have a check next month, and we'll apply that towards the principal on our loan. And I'm still waiting for one site just to get signed off for the permit, so.
Are they not local or?
Yeah, this fella's in Washington, so, yeah. But going back and forth. Town update, we had nothing? Discussion on grant opportunities, again, I basically covered that.
Can you go back to number 12 for a second?
12 county, sure, go ahead.
There was no land and water meeting in January, so I have nothing to report from there, but I believe on Monday, the Wisconsin Counties Association, there's going to be a webinar put on by Atollas Law Firm dealing with just lake districts. This will be at 11 o'clock.
What's the name of the law firm?
Atollas, Attolles. So if you would Google the Wisconsin Counties Association, you'll be able to find the link to that webinar. It should be 11 o'clock this coming Monday on the 13th, dealing strictly, I believe, with just lake districts. So that might have some information that any of us could possibly use.
Yeah, as everybody knows, our attorney passed away from an accident 2 months ago, and I haven't heard back from Frederickson whether they have somebody with extensive experience in Statute 33, so this might be an alternative for us. So,
Who was that attorney?
Mary Beth, she was our attorney down at Frederickson down in Madison. She's been working on, she worked with Bill O'Connor for years.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. Yeah, I got a call, and we didn't expect that. But, yeah, she's been an attorney for 33 years, and she was working with Bill for years on the water thing, so. Bill's semi-retired, otherwise I'd be calling him, but thanks, I will look that one up. Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, number 15, just a note, we got Nicole at Kerber Road. She's also reviewing our data, year-end information to make sure we have a smooth audit. So again, with dealing with the big boys and the banks and whatnot, possibly bonds down the road, just makes sense to have her on board, and she's already been helping out quite a bit. So helped us on a program we have, so it is worthwhile, and we're getting more information out of there than we had planned before, so. Let's see, anything else? It'll help cut down on calls for Regina with the auditor too, hopefully. All right. Approved minutes from Wednesday, December 18th, 2024. Can I get a motion, please?
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes from Wednesday, December 18th, 2024.
Okay.
I can second.
Any discussion? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion's carried. Number 17, approve vouchers and financials.
Make a motion to approve the vouchers and financials. Sammelstead.
I'll second it, Baker.
Any discussion? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed? Motion's carried. Number 18, discussion of possible action, 20 units deliveries in additional storage container and possible extension of current container. We kind of covered this last time, but we're still in the same boat. I basically telling Moliere, until we have a cabinet figured out for sure, we're not interested in taking the rest of the containers and storing them, so.
I think
Nothing
with the
changed.
current container we have right now, storage container, I think I'm going to have to ask the board to allow me to extend the rental of the unit.
Okay. Well, we can actually make a motion, and we can do that now.
When does that current contract expire for the rental?
I think we did it originally for 6 months.
months,
Yeah.
And we got that back in what, November? October? November?
Yeah. The units were delivered in November.
4,
So
6,
probably April.
April.
I think it is April.
Yeah, you're probably gonna need to extend it because you won't have all that stuff out there by then.
No, and if we get the other 20,
I wouldn't. You're not expected to take delivery until such time as
we have a
that
cap.
you have them.
We're kind of holding firm on that, yeah.
yeah. So,
Take it out to June?
I mean, installations are slated to start, as soon as I
April.
saw?
Yeah.
And we got that through the end of April or the beginning of April?
I'd have to check on that, Brett, I'm not sure. I know I took it out for 6 months initially.
Okay, and will that storage unit, can that contain 20 units or not?
Sure.
Because if we're getting going on the installations, we might have room just in that specific container for the new ones that are coming in.
Yeah.
And again, we won't, the 10 that we have right now, we won't install them until we have a container approved.
Oh, enclosure?
Enclosure.
Closure, yeah.
Well, maybe you're right. I mean, probably just address that portion.
I think hold off on extending the rental of the storage unit.
Okay,
For
yeah, we
a
got
month
time
or
on
two.
it yet, too. We can do it month by month.
Yeah.
But, yeah. And again, Mark and I will go visit BDT and a few other places. He's got a couple other lined up for the container, so we'll get that thing, the unit, to get that built.
I'll check on the rental date and I'll hold off for a couple months on
Okay.
if we need to extend it.
Can I ask you one more question?
Sure.
On the container issue, have you discussed that with Chris at Moliere to see if they could have something built the way you designed it out there, and so the units could already be covered and ready to go by the time they get shipped here?
I didn't talk to Chris. I did talk to Chad Wilson. He's the distributor in Minnesota, and let him know. I'm going to send him a copy of the drawing. I am going to get a hold of Chris. He's been kind of laid back. He hasn't been doing anything right now. He's on vacation, so. But yes, Moliere. The other thing is too, like I told BDT, that it's possible that if they build these units, we might be able to get other access for them.
Sure.
I know Chad would be interested right away in them, so.
Okay.
But we're at proof of concept right now, but I think we can come up with a good price and a design, let BDT actually design it. I've got the numbers. And we probably will have, by next meeting for sure, we'll have information.
Will they install it on the units that we have then?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it would be best to have them install it. rather
That's
than-
what, yeah.
I mean, you stop looking at it, it's pretty simple. All right. Next agenda items.
Next date,
Okay, let's go to next date.
February 19th, Wednesday, would be the 3rd. Wednesday.
Okay.
I will, be out of state from beginning of February to the middle of March, so I will not.
Whoa, okay. All right. All right, we're all set for that. Can I get a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? All those in favor, please signal by saying aye. Aye. Motion carried.
I didn't catch who did it first and second.
I made the
Mike.
motion
I seconded it.
to adjourn, and Mark seconded it.
Oh, same as last time. Okay. I'll save. Oh, why isn't it offering me to save? I'll do it later. No.
Oh, I just, I will show you later.
Oh, okay.
I know what it's like.
Oh,
When you're kind of in the zone.
What?
Nothing.
I don't